What is going on, guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today it's a video on FIFA. I can say about the title again. There's a lot of news come out recently about FIFA 21, and EA have officially released some information based on the new game, which it has some interesting ideas, let's just say the least. But before we get into any good news or something like that, there's absolutely no information on Pro Clubs, which is a bit of a concern. And also, will there be any improvements on my player career? Just don't know. At the moment, it's very, very bland information and a lot of focus once again on Ultimate Team. So if you're fed up with that, you don't have to watch this. But you know what I mean. But their first headline though is gameplay has been improved apparently. Which we all know, gameplay in FIFA is absolutely god awful. We all know this, right? It's atrocious. End of story. I won't go into more detail, but apparently in their FIFA they've improved a lot of things like agile dribbling, which apparently, well, you can tell already, you apparently can dribble a bit more nimble, something like that. So you see probably Arjen Robben in his prime, fucking 24/7 most likely. But faster footwork gives you more control and responsiveness in one-on-one situations. So again, it seems like they're going to go with more control, should we say? Which, yes, it's much needed, but it's all talk. It's all good saying now, all talk, but they have to actually show proof of this. They actually have to prove this in any sort of build or any sort of like demo, which I believe there'll probably be a demo at the end of September, because FIFA won't be out until October, the start of October this year, because of the recent pandemic. So yeah, I'll probably wait till then about that. Also, creative runs, which means, apparently they've improved the amount of runs that attackers make, which, yes, also is much needed, because there's I saw some videos recently of comparing old FIFA to FIFA 20 about how the players make runs and how often they make it, and nowadays they make way less runs. It pretty much made the game become less intelligent over time. In other words, FIFA has lost brain cells over time, which is actually madness. But there's also going to be improvements on the fundamentals of football, which apparently improves the AI making better passes and headers and balance blocking and all that mumbo jumbo. Which, again, it's all good saying it now, but you've got to prove it, EA. You have to prove it. If you can't prove it, don't fucking say it. It's as simple as that. Yes, like I said before, it is good that they have shown awareness, and their first topic, yes, is gameplay. That's good, it's showing that's one of the most important priorities this year. But it's all good saying it now. When it comes to the build and when the game comes out, it'll probably be a total load of lies, like it always is. Next is career mode, which is a miracle, to say the least, because we all know, again, career mode has been neglected for about 7 to 8 years at the least. But this year, the biggest focus on career mode is having an interactive match simulator, which means whenever you sim a game in career mode nowadays, usually you just press sim match with the squad that you've got. You press triangle or Y, whatever you're playing on, and that's it. You get the results, who scores, and that's it. You hear a whistle, that's the end of it. You can't make any subs, you can't jump into the game, but now you can do just that, which means obviously you can go into the match at any point during the game. That you can press jump in. You can also make substitutions at any point and just track the game as it goes on. So you don't have to necessarily play the game, but you can still take control of the game. So it's more like Football Manager in some ways. And I believe PES in Master League they have a thing called Coach Mode, which, if I'm right, it's the same. It's the same as that really. Which that's never been a FIFA as far as I know. So it's good that they've put that in, because it's much needed. Like I said, it's much needed. This game mode has been left out for so long. Last year was by far the worst year of career mode in FIFA history. Period. Honestly, it is, because yes, they've put out a lot of improvements for that, but clearly they weren't tested. They clearly weren't. So they've also done a revamped growth system, which means that dynamic player potential last year that they kept boasting about, which turned out to be a broken mess. Turns out they've renamed it and they've redone it, which, again, okay. But that also means that you can now do position training, which, did I mention in the wishlist video? My first video? I think I did. I mentioned that it's good. It'd be a good idea to put in position training, which I believe will be an absolute godsend for all the guys out there who love career mode. Because imagine training somebody like, I don't know, Marcus Rashford to become a natural right winger. Being versatile, being as versatile as that, being able to play on the left, on the right, and up front at the same time. Just adding that versatility in your team, which has been completely left out, like I said. If you can do that now, right, and it's not broken like usually it's nowadays in FIFA, then that will be an absolute dream come true. It really would. Like, you could train Paul Pogba to become a natural CDM, or have Pogba become a natural cam. There's also match sharpness, which is like a football manager, where you have two ways of looking at your players' fitness levels, which is actual fitness levels, like how tired they are, and also how sharp they are for the game. Like, they could be quite rusty, or they could be quite, ready to, be on the first, second, or on the starting 11. So, again, yes, it's much needed. These things are much needed, but like I said, take all of this as a very small pinch of salt, just to warn you, because you just never know. This stuff could be all talk when it comes to it. It's a broken mess, because last year they revealed so much on career mode. None of it was clearly tested. None of it was, because it was such a broken mess at start. So that hashtag as well, this career mode, that went worldwide. It was trending worldwide on Twitter for weeks, until EA eventually started to fix it. But you couldn't put it onto your old saves. You had to start brand new saves to actually apply those fixes. There's also activity management system, which means you can now plan when to train your players. Like, again, it's Football Manager. You have like a calendar for training, and you can pick like on what day what you want to train on. Like on Sunday you can do some ball movement work, or on a Tuesday you could put a bit of possession work. On a Thursday you could I don't know, do some defensive shape work and all that stuff. So yeah, again, it's great. It's great news. This is, honestly, enhanced opposition AI. So now managers, AI managers, anyone around the world will give you a chance to offer any of the players. But this time it won't be just straight up cash. You can get a player and a swap. So nowadays you can do that in career mode, where you can go to any other player in the world, and you can offer some cash. A player plus cash deal. But now AI managers can now do that to you. So you can both do it at the same time. Which, again, it's that will add new ways, and I love that as well. There's also loan to buy option transfer fees and all that. So yeah, King Eric is in Ultimate Team next year. King Eric Cantona. Oh yes. There's now Foot Co-op, which yeah, you can now play with a friend online. So you don't have to do like a split screen where you can have yourself and your mate being in the same room as you and playing like that. You can now play online with your friend. So if you're at home and your friends are in their house, you can play together online and compete for rewards and something like that, like in Division Rivals and something like that. Which is again, it's stuff that was much needed in FIFA, but let's just hope that they actually do balance this, because last year when they revealed all these objectives and milestones, the milestone objectives were completely left out for the whole year. Like, there was no upgrades on any of those players. It wasn't worth doing them at all. Lastly, there's also going to be some Volta news, which again, you can now play with your friends online. So before, the main reason of Volta was to play with your friends. You couldn't do that last year, but now you can in FIFA 21. Yeah, there's also going to be future battles. So like in squad battles, we have these future squads every week. The same in Volta. It's carried over. That's it. There's nothing else. Like I said, really, it's the same thing, but in a different game mode. That's it. There's nothing to that. What I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description for this this page that EA released, as all the news and all the stuff that you need there, all the features which have been revealed so far. But just to have a disclaimer, there'll be more news coming out in August, which if I'm right, career mode's first, then it's like Pro Clubs and Volta, and then Ultimate Team towards the end of the month. So I expect some news probably once every week in August. So I'll cover that if you want me to. So lastly, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, turn the notifications on, and yeah, I'll see you later, so adios.